Yo, YouTube, it's your boy 24 Brown back in this bit. This is the last reaction of the motherfucking day. I think it's reaction number 5, 4. Who knows? We got a plethora of vlogs coming on the main channel. Plethora of reactions on this channel. Hope y'all been enjoying the stream so far. Finna go ahead and get into it. It's CBD, bro. Every level of substance addiction.
Addiction, a term that seems to be thrown around a lot these days. There's social media addiction, video game addiction, corn addiction, but the one that is still undefeated in terms of screwing your life up as fast as possible is drug addiction. Thankfully, I've been smart enough, even in high school, to understand that popping at the ripe age of 16 or shooting up instead of shooting hoops on the weekends was probably not going to be a good foundation for my desired adult lifestyle. Which, I mean, labeling myself smart for not doing drugs with a still developing brain is kind of glazing, but well, believe it or not, I was in the minority, at least in my friend circle. I mean, there were days where some of my friends came to school off MD, and I even heard some rumors that certain kids were caught dropping Zannies inside their soda during lunch. Like, bro, there's no way.
Did no pills, never will.
That geography.
That's fucking crazy word. Y'all seen that one clip? Top Off Jen, he's one of my favorite rappers, but he said, "I don't care if it's fake."
Class wasn't that stressful. Anyway, since I've been around this stuff basically all my life and have seen everything from respectable party pill enjoyers all the way to overdose cases, I'd like to go over the levels of drug addiction that you can spiral through if you ever decide to, well, do drugs, which please don't ever do them. This video is purely for educational purposes to showcase the horrible road that awaits you if you ever get sucked in by peer pressure, hanging out with the wrong people, or just your own stupidity. Hopefully, it'll also serve as a wake-up call for some, because most times addicts hang out with other addicts who will most likely not tell you that, "Hey bro, I think you should stop doing crack, but like, I'll keep at it, but you, nah. And although not all drugs affect you the same, your level of addiction to any drug usually shows the same symptoms, at least on the surface, to the people around you. And although there would obviously be differences if you were addicted to coke versus, I don't know, they're not huge, and for the purposes of this video, it won't really affect much. But no one, including yourself, will ever notice when you're at level 1, peer pressure.
Never say no to drugs. I mean, always say no to drugs is what I mean, unless it's the za.
First stage of a potential addict's journey. Now, at this level, you're definitely not a crackhead or anything. You're just at the function, drunk, and maybe a bit high, hanging with your homies when the kid your mom warned you about starts walking towards you with your buddy you've known since elementary school. You notice that they both seem kind of energetic and really happy. They get closer and closer until finally they pull you to the side and say, "Yo, bro, you won't believe the stuff Doug has." What, he got some good weed? Nah, bro, way better, like way better. I don't know if I like where this is going, bruh. Now, hear me out. This stuff ain't easy to get. We're talking 100% pure Colombian coke. Now, I don't know if it's just my messed up upbringing, but if I had a quarter for every time I've been offered free... I mean, I have a couple bucks, but the point is, I've been offered free Colombian more times than I can remember, and all...
Coke is crazy.
Though it has not been easy, especially the times I was drunk, every single time I refused. Why? Cause I ain't no who needs some chemical powder to get the confidence to pull baddies. I just need enough to black out. Well, to be honest, that mostly just applies to my high school days, as now that I'm 22, I've grown to realize how bad alcohol actually is for you, which is why I now almost exclusively stick to the Zaza, which is made especially easy with today's sponsor, 5CBD Quick Hits 15 milligram gummies, who not only get you where you're trying to go in 10 minutes compared to the usual 30, but also delivered nationwide. On top of that, 5CBD is also running a $5,000 giveaway to everyone who enters before July 31st, with the winner getting to choose their preferred prize. Personally, I definitely go with the gamer's dream, which includes stuff like a PlayStation 5, a 65-inch TV, a mini fridge, a $1,000 Visa gift card, and much more. The best part is, by using my code CBDBRO at checkout, you can get a whopping 35% off your order while still getting those 10 entries, giving you a solid chance of winning the $5,000 giveaway. giveaway, although there are multiple other ways to get additional entries for free as well. To be eligible, all you have to do is be at least 21, live in the US, and go to the pinned comment to check it out. Anyway, for the purposes of this video, let's differ from the actual timeline and remove my godly self-control and see what would have happened if I had gone down the road of almost all my other friends. Okay, yeah, screw it. Now that's what a man would say. Doug, he's down. Okay, so I just sniff it? Yeah, man, it'll get you proper. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, I'm literally gone. And what would have happened from here is what I would have probably proclaimed the greatest night of my life. Because don't get it twisted, there is a reason why drugs are addictive. They make you feel good, confident, euphoric, unrealistically so. Something I truly realized just a few years ago. A famous 2010 study by David Nutt, ex-UK drug advisor, asked drug users to rate drugs on pleasure and harm, with the max pleasure rating being free. Heroin topped the list at 3, crack at 2.5, MDMA at 2.2, and coke at 2. Now, if we were to use the same rating system for natural pleasures, we'd roughly get 2 to 2.5, achieving a life goal again 2 to 2.5, entering a deep flow state 1.5 to 2. Anyway, why I'm telling you this is that the only time I've ever felt comparably as good as I did when I was on Molly is when I got an email saying I have been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, which was a life goal of mine since I was like 9. But that took me years of trying and failing, ups and downs, hardships and struggles. The Molly, it cost me $10, but that was just a bit of extra info to make you understand what drugs really are. A taste of unnatural happiness at the cost of true happiness. Now let's see what happened to this alternate timeline CBD bro at level 2. Yo, party's kinda lame. Wanna get a bag? CBD bro has turned into a true party animal. Well, it's more of a warm-up because he doesn't really feel like he's truly partying without a bag. Talking to females, however drunk he gets, just ain't the same as the night he turned to the dark side. Every word oozed confidence, and the hoes, they loved him for it. And I mean, it's not like he's addicted or anything. He only does a line or two when there's a dope party and it's available. And coincidentally, there seems to be a dope party every weekend. And even more weird, he always seems to secure a bag somehow. Mostly because he's got himself a couple of new friends who he shares a hobby with. The biggest problem at this stage is, as Dana White put it, isn't cheap. It's expensive. Gotta make money. But for now, thankfully, he has a sweet Nintendo Switch he can sell. And a laptop too. He told his parents he's grown out of video games. They seemed happy he's maturing. And since he's got like 3 friends he can split the bill with, he's just about getting by. Lost a bit of muscle mass, but that's about it. Nothing to be worried about. Oh, and he's not addicted. He just keeps thinking about how fun last week's party was and how this weekend is gonna be even more lit. Cause the Facebook event says there's 12 people going and 10 interested. I hope you guys saw through my sarcasm, as the real reason why CBD bro loves to party is I mean, in high school, partying is fun regardless, but the people that go to every single function are either extreme extroverts or they're doing drugs. We're constantly told that when you're young, you need to experiment and find your calling, which is then taken by some teens and warped into experiment with and find your favorite. Good news is that on this level, you're giving your body and brain at least a couple days or weeks to stabilize. But the bad news is that being the case, you haven't really discovered the reality of drugs, and you're slowly losing your sense of self. What made you happy before doesn't even come close to your weekends, and high school being as easy as it is, if you don't come to the realization yourself that this path leads to nothing, you'll find yourself on level 3. The weird guy at the function. I'd say this is the last level where a person can seem completely normal on the surface, as in he probably isn't in severe debt to various banks and loan sharks, and his face, although slender, doesn't scream out, "I'll snort anything." But don't get it twisted. At this stage, you have a pretty crippling addiction. You haven't done any stuff related to needles quite yet, but you're thinking about it. Quite frankly, life sober is depressing. You feel empty. There's no purpose. You wasted your early 20s doing nothing but obsessing over the next party where you can be up in a socially acceptable environment. Your peers have jobs, careers, and you might too. Heck, if you're a head and work in sales, you might be pretty damn good at your job, but all you really care about is your next kick. You want to feel alive. Jumping back to the alternate CBD Bro timeline though, I think it would have looked something like this. Instead of pursuing his YouTube dream, CBD Bro spends his time thinking about the good old days back in high school when times were simpler. He was popular and doing functions made you cool, not a middle-aged loser. Now he either bounces.
That's the thing about me too, Chad. I've barely been drunk. I've probably been drunk, I can count on one hand. Yeah. I only stick to the za. To the za. 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 Stick to the za. Don't do no beer. Don't do no hardcore drugs.
Between any parties he can find and hanging out with Doug, the guy who gave him his first line. Deep down he hates him, but he's the only one who'll go to parties with him, taking some of the attention away from the fact he's in his mid-20s still hanging out with teenagers, goddamn. Basically, he's the dude that when your parents ask,
"It's just going to be people from your school at the party, right?"
are watching out for. He is officially a bad influence and quite frankly a deadbeat. These next levels are where unfortunately there's almost no return. Level 4. For real messed up in the brain. No breaks in between now. There's always something in your system. Apple is like your morning coffee, and all that really holds you back from doing other stuff in between is your finances. You probably still have a job though, so that's good news. Bad news is that, well, the job ain't paying enough, so you've resorted to selling the stuff you know best, but not in like a Pablo Escobar type way, more like a get high off your own supply and hopefully make a couple extra bucks type deal. Alternate CBD Bro timeline? Doug is in jail. CBD Bro is all alone besides the hose he pulls with the offering of free lines at his place. A true scumbag. All ties with his family have been cut. They wanted him to get better, but they didn't understand that it wasn't the that were the problem. It was literally everything else. That was sarcasm, YouTube. Okay, time for the final level. Is your finances. You probably still have a job though, so that's good news. Bad news is that, well, the job ain't paying enough, so you've resorted to selling the stuff you know best, but not in like a Pablo Escobar type way, more like a get high off your own supply and hopefully make a couple extra bucks type deal. Alternate CBD Bro timeline? Doug is in jail. CBD Bro is all alone besides the hose he pulls with the offering of free lines at his place. A true scumbag. All ties with his family have been cut. They wanted him to get better, but they didn't understand that it wasn't the that were the problem. It was literally everything else. That was sarcasm, YouTube. Okay, time for the final level. Level 5. Dead or in jail. The last stop. Regardless of if you're dead or in jail, you had a good run, I guess. Just another statistic. Damn shame. If you do go to jail, there's a small chance you might come back a new man. But yeah, the odds are not in your favor, and even if you do, you'll live out a life of regret, constantly pondering about what you could have been if you just had said no. Anyway, that's about it, folks, and remember, always say no to
W video from SCBD guy. Like the vid.